Hello and welcome. My name is Abhilash. I represent Gentle Bamboo Solutions, and today I'm joined in by Tejasvi, or more popularly known as Shankar Junior, the greatest, most amazing magician that I have the privilege of personally knowing. And this is a gentleman who has been featured in the international media since he was like what, 3 years old or somewhere around that time. And I am very, very excited to talk about this. But for the first time ever, I am not going to be asking too many magic related questions here. We are going to explore another aspect of Shankar's life. And thank you so much. Thank you, Shankar, for doing this.
Pleasure is all mine. Thank you so much for this, this meeting. Thank you so much.
All right. Here we go. Let's start with magic. How did you get into it? How much do you enjoy it? What's your story about magic? And share with us what you feel about magic and your love for it.
Okay. Magic has been my life. I was born into a magician's family. My father was the first person in the whole district to start magic. So before him, no, we are basically from an agriculturist family. But my father was the first in the family and in the district to start magic. And he was traveling around giving shows. And my mother, after marriage, also started joining him in the shows. And they were together going out with the team, going around and doing shows. And after I was born, of course, they used to take me to the shows also. And I was made to sleep in the wings during the show. And this effect where we have this cage and ladies appeared on the cage. She's produced from inside. So we had that cage. So after that effect was over, I was made to sleep inside the cage so that I won't roll out and fall down. Right. So that was my first on stage bed, and so that was how. And I was watching the show from the wings, and I grew up watching my father perform. And naturally, when you are like that age, imitation is the first thing you do. And I started imitating my father's action. And a little bit later, like when I came out of the cage, my mother used to bring all the effects into all the items into the green room, and I was playing with those effects. And playing was what? Imitating my dad, imitating exactly what he used to do, and so on. And one day my dad saw that, and also I had my mother tells me all this. I had this strange urge of doing even the illusions which my dad used to do, giving all these actions on stage. So after the show was over, they had to reset a few of the illusions, and I had to give the actions, and the assistant need to come on stage and recreate the whole show again, almost a few bits of the whole show. So that was the thing. But then my father saw that and said, okay, and one fine day he said, okay, why don't you start doing a solo performance? My first performance was at the age of 3 in Manipal. That was way back in the year 1981. And that's how I came onto the stage. And my father, he's a self-taught magician. So he taught me whatever he knew in magic. And then he said, the avenue is totally open for you. Go ahead, learn whatever you want, and explore new things, develop your own style. So that's what my magic is all about. It's about my style which suits me, my character, and so on. So I mean, though we belong to the same family, the magic my father performs and what I perform are totally different. I mean, the kind of performance, it may be the same effect or the same equipment, but the way we perform is different.
Right.
Yeah, right. That's how things came up, and we tour together as a family. The complete family is into it. The extended family from my in-laws side, they're all into. They are all part of the team, and we travel around. So every time going out for a show is like a family picnic. So we go out, and magic is my life. It's not my full-time profession. No, it's still my part-time profession or a hobby or my craze, my passion. And it's been continued like that. I go around and we give shows on invitation. And earlier we used to do, like when I was very young, we used to do this full-fledged full-time shows, but not now. A few years ago we stopped doing full-time shows, and now we are just giving shows on invitation.
Right. So that's so amazing. Thank you so much. Okay, let me ask then. You said you have a team, but then that team is family, right? And people have this saying that I want to treat my team like a family, but in your case it's literally your family, How does that change things though? Does it make things easier, more difficult, or what happens in a situation like that?
Uh, Basically, the thing is, our family or our team, when my father started performing, he had a team, a small team. He used to go around, and they were mostly friends and people whom he worked and I mean study together. And then, of course, as time went by, the team started to expand a bit more, and we had few more people joining in, and then of course my sister joined in, myself, and that was how the team started to expand with the type of the show. There were a few dance sequences coming here and there, so we had a few more people adding and so on. Then after one stage, as I said, we stopped giving those regular full-time shows as a
Right.
camp show. No, go to one place, book a hall, and do it. And then the team started to shrink in size, reduce in size, and it was more of a family. Now this is the currently the type of team we have now. It's basically everyone from the family plus two or three technicians, technical hands who are not family, but they're now like family because they've been with us for years together, like 30 years we've been working together. So they are like family. And yeah, and of course it's the tight knit family also. My brother-in-law, my sister, my sister married my wife's brother. So like
Right.
it's an
Oh,
exchange
okay.
offer, give and take, yeah. That kind of stuff. But we have been family friends since the grandparents' time. My father and my father-in-law, they grew up together, and my father-in-law actually handles, if you would say, he is the person who handles the background score for the live orchestra. So that's the team. And going again, as I said, with the team, it's like the team has been our family. We all work together, starting from the loading of the equipment into the truck to unloading it back after the show. We all travel together, we stay together. It's usually we have, if it's a big artist or a big troupe, there's a practice that the head of the troupe stays in a star hotel or something, and that the team stays somewhere, probably on the stage or somewhere. We don't have that. As you said, it's a family thing. Even the non-family members are like our family, so we all stay together. If we stay in a 5-star hotel, everyone stays there. Or if we stay in the green room, then we all stay together in the green room.
Right.
We have that tight knit together, and that's why that bonding is there. So that's probably why I have got when we go on stage, the confidence is there, because I know everyone is working deep down heart with that passion towards the act to go really well. It's not for money, or it's not for their salary they're working. It's for the passion, because everyone in the team now, because it's not a full time, everyone in the team, they have got their own job. They work elsewhere.
Right.
Other than the family, again they work elsewhere, but then whenever we have a show, we come back, and so it's all like it's fun for us. It's not a way of earning or something like that. It's fun, so we have a good family time together. So that's how the team is knit together.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for bringing up the point about confidence that you get because of the team working and building up that confidence for you. I would actually dig a little deeper into that question specifically of confidence. See, you are, I don't have to keep repeating it, but you are literally Indian magic royalty, so to speak, which means that you cannot mess up. When you're on stage, you cannot make a mistake, because that reflects poorly upon probably legacy, or your own legacy, or your father's, or whatever, for whatever reasons. And in general, I understand enough magic to know that when you mess up in magic, it's a really bad mess up. While you might have ways to recover from it, but you would never want to be in a position where a trick goes wrong. Right. So with that as the primary point here, where the quality of the show has to be super high, there cannot be mistakes. I want to ask a specific question. What importance does an already trained team play in this? For example, you say you started young, and your sister and your entire family, they all start young. But as you bring more people, right? I want to basically talk about the corporate context also here a bit. In a corporate company, for example, you can't afford to have everybody who's already perfect. So people learn on the job, and one of the privileges or problems of learning on the job is they make mistakes. In a case like yours where mistakes are just not acceptable, what do we do? How do we manage that?
Well, I would say in our case, especially if it's a new, I mean, as I said, if it's a new person who is not experienced in on stage, see, none of our team members are from an artist background. If I
Hmm.
would say, I mean, not everyone from the family is, yes, from a background of magicians or musicians and so on, but not the other team members. One of our main stage hands is a carpenter. He was the person who actually built our equipment. The other stage hand now is a senior stage hand, came as a driver to our vehicle. He joined the team as a driver, but then he has now become part of the magic family again. So and so
Mhm.
on. So it's all basically what happens is we need to get involved in each and every process, if each and every development process. It's starting from, as I said earlier, starting from loading the stuff into the vehicle. See, we have a specific way where how the vehicle has to be loaded. If one box goes here and there, the vehicle can't be loaded. You can't put all the stuffs inside. So it's that one truckload of equipment. Each and every item has to go in that perfect manner. Everything has to be set up in that perfect. As you said, we can't afford to make a mistake. One piece cannot go another place. So we take 8 hours to set up the whole stage and all this equipment and everything. To get that done is like you know each and every bit of an equipment. You know which piece goes where. If something goes wrong, how do I set it right? See, the point is, if I go into a box, I have no control of anything which happens outside.
Right.
So that's what I said, that confidence I need to have is completely on my team. So my team will now have control of everything which is outside. Though I will be the performer doing it, but then I will be inside those boxes. I'll be handling all this equipment, doing it. But then the team should know each and every bit of it, where the wire connection goes. If it's a light, where the wire, if some light goes off, every member of my team has the capacity of going and finding it out and resetting it. If you know, for example, it has already happened. A box comes on stage and suddenly one bolt falls off, right?
Right.
And now I know where that bolt comes from. So I tell my team, like, okay, now this comes from that part, but it's okay, we can manage it. The box will not fall down, it will stay there, don't worry about it, kind of thing, so the team knows how to handle it. So, it's that involvement in each and every part of the process. Probably that's what makes you understand everything, and then there is no scope for anything to go wrong. Even if it goes wrong or if it starts to go wrong, you know exactly how to recover from that. So
Right.
I think that kind of training has to be,
Mm.
and that comes only from here. It doesn't come just from here. I
Right.
need to be part of it from here. I need to make it my life. I said it's my
Mm.
moral duty to be part of it. So I think that's
Right.
that's very important to be as a performer, or as you said, as a team wherein you can't afford to make a mistake. And in magic, no, as I said, you can't make a mistake. You need to be 99.9% perfect until and unless it's some major technical issue going wrong. But then, yeah, other than that, you can't afford to make a mistake. You're going to mess things up seriously.
All right. No, that's lovely. The question that kind of follows in from that is that you how do you deal with mistakes though? In when mistakes are not allowed and a mistake happens, I can't believe that a mistake would never have happened. And if it has, don't get into specifics of it if you don't want to, because magic is nothing if not about
I
secrecy.
know.
But specifically, when a problem happens that cannot be fixed and there are repercussions to it, how do we post-mortem it, or how do you do it?
Okay, I will give you an example that my father always tells about me. When I started performing magic, I was something like 4. And there's this famous magic effect technically called the candle to flower. You have a
Mhm.
candle and a tube, you cover the candle with a tube and you remove the tube, and there's a flower in it.
Right.
Okay, now it's in magician's terms, it's called candle to flower. And my father, since the beginning, he had this habit of not announcing the technical name on stage. many people have that, even now magicians have that habit inside of announcing the technical name. My next effect is the great candle to flower mystery kind of thing. So the audience already knows what's going to happen next. Okay, so this effect was there, and due to some issue with the assistant fixing it, I'll tell you what happened. The candle was there. My dad came and he lit the candle, and I took the tube, I covered the tube, I lifted the tube, there's no flower. Okay, now that was a technical issue. Now I was just 4 years old, mind you. So it's messed up, and I look at my dad and said, oh, what should I do? I said, he just did that. Then I said, fine. I just took a bow, gave it back, went to the mic and said, where is the candle? It disappeared. So the point is, in magic we have this advantage of not telling the spectator what's going to happen next, so they don't know what to expect. So whatever unexpected that happens on stage, it's magic for the spectator, until and unless it's something which they already know is going to happen kind of thing. If I'm going to do an escape act, like they know, okay, this guy is going to escape, and at the end I don't escape at all, they know something is seriously messed up. But until it's that, those kind of thing. So we always plan for a way out if this climax doesn't happen as expected. So it's already planned. So while, as I said, we know the ins and out of each and every equipment. So I know if something can go wrong, what can go wrong. And in our show, especially, as you said, since we cannot afford to make a mistake, we avoid as much as technical, mechanical equipment in the show as possible. Because we do occasional shows, we don't do regular shows every now and then. So probably the gap between two shows may be 2 months or 3 months in sometimes. So if we are using mechanical stuff or electronic stuff as such, which I can't give you the complete insights of it, but yeah, the point is, like, if we don't use it for a certain period of time, it might not work the next time you use it. So these things can happen. So we do not want to take that risk. So we avoid doing all those effects. For us, magic is more about the presentation, how we connect with the people. And so even if it's a simple thing, connecting with the people, the way you present an effect, how you involve the audience into it, I think that is more important than the actual equipment you're using. So our magic is not about the equipment. It's about us and you connecting. So that's more about it. So in that case, I think we work a lot to avoid all these technical hassles that might happen. So yeah, that's why we avoid, we have escaped all these technical issues.
So basically, whenever in doubt, over prepare and ensure there are outs if should things go wrong.
Yes. Always be prepared. So always, like, whenever you come out with a new thing, always start thinking negatively. Okay, so if I ask the spectator to pick a card, be ready for him to, like, okay, can I handle the deck and shuffle it before I pick a card kind of thing. So I can't afford to use a special deck, I need to use a normal deck. Or probably he says, okay, no, use my deck. So I need to be prepared of using his deck and so on. So be prepared for all that could happen. So be ready with that.
Yeah. And I think also what happens, not just in magic, but in real life also, when things do go wrong, don't just give up on them, go back and think a little more about what do I do next time so that this doesn't happen, at least. So that kind of preparation.
Exactly. The thing is, don't rush, just keep your calm, because the thing is, the main, you lose your ability to recover from that situation if you panic. So don't panic. Just stay calm. Just think for a while. Just 1 second. Blank. Think, and you're going to get the right spot to hit. That's something very important.
Yeah, that's lovely. Okay, let's move on to another area that I wanted to explore with you, because see, there's a saying that goes that a professional magician needs to know only 10 tricks because his audience keeps changing. He doesn't have to keep learning new things. Right? Because on the contrary, an amateur magician, quite like myself, has to learn 200 tricks because I have only 2 people who watch my tricks. And if I show them the same trick again, they will never watch it. So, however, jokes apart, for magic family like yours, which has pretty much been around for a few decades now, how important is continuous learning and experimentation? How has that been important for you?
It is. It is. See, there are two types of situations you'll get. One is that the audience wants to see a certain effect, even if you do it hundreds of times for them.
Right.
So we've had that situation many times. Like we used to go to North India every year, a few years till a few years ago, and perform across 5 states. It was organized by the North Zone Culture Center. So the director of this department always had one show which was right opposite to his office. So there was this ground there. So one show was always there opposite his office, and like every year we used to go there and perform on the same stage for the same audience. It's the same village kind of thing. No? So every year we used to do something new and take out something new and bring a new show kind of thing. And after the show, the director used to come. ये आपने वो वाला नहीं दिखाया, and वो पिछली बार आपने किया था ना, ये आपने नहीं दिखाया. So I was like, हाँ हमने ये दिखाया, नहीं वो तो ठीक है, ये अच्छा था, लेकिन आपने वो नहीं दिखाया, kind of thing. Every time there are a few things. Oh, see, like it's like Bhimsen Joshi. Every time he gives a concert, people do want to listen to Bhagyada Lakshmi Varama. Right? Whatever he would sing, they would always want him to sing that. So that is always there. But we too inside, we are like bored doing the same thing again and again probably, and we want to do something new. And biggest advantage for us is this family which I was telling about. Every time I come out with something new, as you said, I too have 200 tricks and the same 4 people to do an effect for. So every time I come out with something new, I show it to my mother, I show it to my wife, my sister, and all. They look at an effect from the audience point of view, the layman point of view, not from the magician's point of view. So my dad and we ourselves, we look at it from the magician's point of view. What would a magician think of this effect? But at the same time, the rest of the family looks at it from the audience point of view. And biggest advantage for me is from my in-law side, they're into theater. So my father-in-law is a director, my brother-in-law, he's also into theater, and that's another advantage. So they look at from a theatrical point of view. So I get a very good critical evaluation of each and every effect I do. Sometimes it's like every time I bring out it says, no, dustbin, go. It's a kind of thing. That kind of harsh comment do come, but I think that's good. That's what makes us come out with something. But at the same time, as you said, a good magician needs to have just 10 tricks, but he can do the same 10 tricks in 100 different ways.
Right.
That is something important for us. So like I give one example of one effect I do. I have been doing it for the past 30-35 years. Okay, and it's one of the most basic effects in magic. Probably each and every kid which has got this magic kit has got that effect in it. And I do it in each and every show of mine. Right. And every time I do, I say, okay, now this show I'm not doing this. I'm bored of doing this for so many years. I'm not doing this. Right. And my mom says, do one thing. Look at the audience. Look at their faces. The moment you see that that flash gone in their eyes, that is the day you stop doing this effect. Right. And my experience is it's set up so beautifully, and I of course have changed my approach with the audience as per their feedback. So every time, like the audience is like this till the end of the effect, and the end of the effect there's a climax. It comes, and that day they relax and they applaud. That applause, that kind of reaction I get makes me perform the effect again in my next show. So that's something, and it's not, as I said earlier, it's not about that effect or it's not about the trick as such, but it's the way we perform and connect. So that makes them feel the magic every time you see it. So they won't, even if you do it 100 times, they have that feel inside them. So I think that's more important.
Right. And truly, I mean, far too many people who get into any profession for that matter, worry too much about their happiness, their satisfaction, forgetting for a moment that you're not doing it for you. You're doing it for somebody else. While in your profession is literally for others. I mean, you can't do magic for yourself because you know the trick and you can't fool yourself. You have to do it for others. But in most work that we do, whether we are writers, whether we are singers, whether we are tax auditors, we are always doing the work for others, and always wondering about what's in it for me is probably not the professional approach, so to speak.
No, that's what I said. Even if I'm working for others, it's my duty to do. Probably I'm morally bound to do it, kind of thing. So it's if I do it, I have this kind of satisfaction that I have done something from the bottom of my heart. So even
Right.
if it goes wrong, I want to set it right, because it's me finding out what was wrong, where I went wrong, and correcting myself, and finding out something new, and a new way of clearing it and coming another step up. I think that's something we need to have with every work we do. So
Right.
feel getting truly involved from the bottom of our heart. That's
Yeah.
it makes
Yeah.
a great difference.
Yeah. Tell me this, Shankar. When you are willing to learn because you're curious and you want to learn new things, but how do we get our team to do that also? What if some people in the team are like, to use a cliche term, contented, and they don't want to learn anymore? And we are like, we're getting along fine, we're doing a good job already. Why do we have to keep reinventing ourselves? How do we respond to team members who are satisfied and contented and don't want to push harder?
Wow, that was really difficult. How would we do that? Probably get them involved into this team. Get them involved into the team as a core part of the team, and working or make them feel that if I need to work a little bit more for the whole team itself. It's not just about me here. So why is it you get that feeling that the sense of contentment is that, like, why should I work? I'm happy. I'm getting my salary or whatever recognition I need to get. That's more than enough. So it's again more of a selfish thing that's happening. But then if you can make them feel they're part of this team as a family, and they get this moral obligation of working towards the team, and trying to give something from my side for the team. If that bondage between the team members increases, probably they by themselves might want to improve their productivity into this team. So I think that's what I would feel with that.
Probably get them to see the why of what we are doing, not just go open this box is not good enough. Go open this box because that is the kind of effect it
That
creates.
is very important. Exactly.
True. Okay. Two more lines of thoughts. The first one, I know as much as you are a performer, you also like to teach magic. I have learned a lot from the videos you have made. You've created products which you not only use yourself, but you let lesser mortals like me get access to your mind also. So that teaching aspect. First of all, two parts to that question. One, how did you get started on that? And two, why is it important to teach what you know to become better at it? And if yes, why?
Well, how I came into teaching was your first part, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. Now, my point was how I actually started giving lectures in magic conventions. I was being invited to give lectures, and how that whole thing started was I was made a judge to one of the competitions.
Okay.
That happened in Chennai. And along with me was another eminent magician called SSC Vasant. If you would you might have heard of Vasant also.
Yes.
So we were the judges there, and we were like, after the contest was over, we were comparing our marks, and we were exactly on the same lines. And then we also had a lot of things to add into each and every act. So we went to the organizer and said, why don't we get a little bit of time after the contest, so that we can talk with the contestants, probably in private with them, if they are willing. They're not willing to come on stage, and also we commenting on their act on stage. We can do it in private, or we can also do it on stage. They were okay on stage. That was really nice of them. So what we did not make any individual comment on it, but we said in general. And I'll tell you why this was very helpful. There was one act which we opted for a second prize, and he did not get a first prize. And the audience was thinking the other way. They wanted that guy to
Right.
get a first prize. So then we had a chance to say why we did not give him the first prize. What we felt was wrong in his act, or why we were not impressed with his act, and so on. So
Mhm.
this kind of interaction was there, and suddenly started talking about how we can make the acts better. And
Mm.
when I talked about that, I was asked, why don't you give a lecture on this? Why don't you give a lecture on what wrong the other magicians are doing and how can we set it right? So I
Right.
gave a lecture on that, and that lecture went on for hours together. It was scheduled for 1 hour, but then it
Mhm.
went for 2 hours and two and a half hours. I said, please carry on. We just want to go ahead. We just want to listen to you. And I just that lecture went for 2.5 hours, and like then people started to understand probably my approach towards magic is different than the other lectures were giving. So that was then I was asked to come over and over again and give lectures on stagecraft. Stagecraft, if you're not into those who are not into magic, you would understand. It's about how to perform magic. It's not the technical bits of magic tricks, how the trick is done. Not that, but how to present a trick to the audience the better way. How to make your magic more magical. So that was my title on that.
I remember that.
So that was what I was asked to come over and do. So even now, when I start to, I teach magic. A lot of people come to me and say, "Do you teach magic? Do you give classes and so on?" My first answer to that is that I do not start from zero to give classes, because there are two kinds of people who come to learn magic. One, they just want to know how it's done. They just want to know the tricks, right? And the other one is who want to know the tricks and actually perform and develop the art of magic. So I need to identify what kind of interest it is. So the first thing I do is ask them, if you want, you just go to YouTube. So I just give them a few links on YouTube where they can just explore around and do it. So if just they just want to know the tricks, it's already there on YouTube. They know how it's done, and if they're from the first category, they can be satisfied. I know how to make a building disappear. I know how to make the Statue of Liberty disappear, kind of thing. So that's
Right.
satisfied, and that's it. They don't want to learn further. If it's the second sort, of course, they will find it out. They will try to practice. But then I always tell them, you practice, know the trick, but YouTube will not teach you how to perform it in front of people. It will only tell you how it works. So you
Right.
only will become an operator of that gadget. You will not become a performer. Becoming a performer, that's my job. I'll teach you how to do that. So that's where I come in. And I
Right.
start to share this experiences, my experience on stagecraft and so on. So that's how I came into it. And yes, it's a very big learning process, because every time I give a lecture, I start to prepare. I need to update myself also. So every time I start to want to give a lecture, I want to give a class, I need to update myself, and that's a very good learning process. And also, when I start giving lecture, I have people who give me feeds, like few technical stuff. I said, no, this new thing has come, which is really good. It's better than what you're doing. I said, okay, I didn't know about that, and I
Right.
learn it. That's
Mhm.
again a learning process for me. I can enhance my knowledge by giving out knowledge. I think that's very
Right.
important. Sharing what you know, because as you know, when I was into my dad had a very tough time, because at that time people were all tight-lipped. Magicians were all tight-lipped. They would not even tell you a secret. At that time, probably revealing a secret was like telling your heart off, kind of thing. I don't know, that kind of
Right.
thing.
Right.
And even for me, when I was like, my dad, as I told you, he taught me everything, but then it was for me to go around and learn more. And I used to just look, as a kid, I just look at everyone performing, and if I would ask them to teach me, looking at this small kid who wants to learn a complicated slide and so on, no one would come forward to do that. So it was my job to look at it and learn by myself. It's called reverse engineering. And
Right.
I think I learned almost all effects by watching others perform, because yeah, I did have a few teachers who taught me, but then most of the effects I do is more about learning by watching. And that is more important, because everything in the world you watch around, you can learn.
Mm.
Magic has taught me not just performance, it has taught me how to do carpentry work. It has taught me how to design magic effects. It has taught me lighting. It has taught me music. It has taught me web designing. It has taught me DTP. It has taught me everything which is around a a magician's life. So everything I learned by actually involving myself into it. So I think that's very important.
Yeah, that's thank you so much. That was a masterclass in itself about the importance of learning and how we can take our life forward with it. Okay, last question then, Shankar. Last year, almost to the date, something terrible happened to the world. The world is still healing from it, but the magic community I know suffered quite a lot, like many others who did also. But the problem with magicians was that now who would call them into their house and let them deal with their kids? Who would let them invite them into closed functions and corporate settings and all of that? And that's something which a lot of magicians struggled with. And I know I was very deeply talking to many in the community at that time. Some people, however, turned that into another opportunity to learn and reinvent themselves. You are one of them, and I cannot imagine how quickly you learned such deep technical stuff. I am from a technical industry. I do this technical stuff for a living, whether it is coding or a similar stuff. You are way more of an expert than me in operating OBS and other stuff now. How did that happen, and why is it important to not wait till things improve and basically pick it up from wherever it has stopped and then kind of reinvent yourself?
It has been, as I said, it has been a very big learning process for me, especially this pandemic. Now, magic for me is passion. It's not my bread and butter. So since the beginning, magic was never my bread and butter, my source of earning. So I was always in a situation to say no if I'm not happy performing in a particular venue. So that was the first thing to do. So yeah, I was scheduled to go to US just a week before the lockdown happened, and the whole trip got cancelled. I was okay with it. We were all locked inside and everything, and then slowly people started to do all these virtual shows and so on. And I was like, to getting my mind to make a decision whether to do a show or not, a virtual show or not, I really took more than 2 months to actually bring my mind up to that point. The main reason being, as I told you, my magic is more about connecting with people directly. So without the live audience in front, I cannot perform for a screen. I've done TV shows, of course, but TV shows you do different setup. You don't do stuff which you do for a live audience in front of a TV, right? You know about that. So that's totally different. You point at the camera, you do that. But for me, it's not. It's about people. I need to see how they react and then change my approach towards the magic, change the way I perform, the play I present, depending on how my audience reacts back. So for me, having a live audience in front is everything. I cannot perform without a live audience in front. And how would I ever be able to do it? Then, of course, I've been chatting with friends and thinking about all these things. And then started, okay, let me do it. Let's start. So I started making a list of all the things I've been doing, and everything was no, this can't be done, this can't be done, this can't be done. So everything I was doing till then could not be done in a virtual show. Like, okay, what to do next?
Yeah.
Now make a list of things which you think will work in a virtual show. So I started making a list of those things and developing that. Then, as you said, the technical part of it was a biggest hassle. I first
one quick interruption though, just to make a point. Basically, what you tell me now is that you've been in this for 35 years, and the pandemic wiped out all of that and pretty much start over again from what tricks do I do?
Exactly,
right?
Exactly.
And that's happened to so many people. And the fact that you were able to reinvent that and get that story and all. Please proceed with it. I just wanted to make this clearer than you made it. That this is definitely decades of work, which has all been like, let's put all of this on the side and start over. That's no joke at all.
Yes. Exactly.
Carry on, please.
Exactly. See, I perform seated like this. All right. I have all three different cameras and all everything to work with, and that is something which I've never done in my lifetime. I always stand, I move around the stage, I look at the people in their eyes, I go between the audience and everything. Now I'm like stuck to this chair. I'm tied to this chair. I need to perform doing that, and I need to perform in this small area. I don't have much place to move, and this everything. Each and everything I perform was totally different than what I've been doing for the past 35, 40 years. Right? It was like, come on. And then, all right, I bring things up. Now, I don't want to put a webcam in front, sit in my bedroom, I have my showcase in the back and do a show. Like, okay, I have a deck of cards and so on. No, I wanted it to look professional. So, how do I do that? I don't have hands who can actually help me with all this lighting stuff and everything. And of course, pandemic time, no one is coming out, and I can't have people come over to my house and do it. So everything, each and everything, I had to do it myself. I had to get the lights on. I had to get what kind of lights to be used, search on the net, get the light. And again, you cannot invest much because you don't know how much you can take out from it.
Yeah.
Right? I was not sure if I was ever going to be doing a show. I mean, I was developing 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. I've been just learning the technical bits of it. I've been learning the software to be used on it, to see what kind of hardware is important, what kind of camera is needed, what kind of angle is good, and everything. Like, to set this whole thing up, I took 3 to 4 months to do it. And by the end, I was like, will I ever be doing a show? I'm just preparing. That's it. And I was thinking at this point, by the time I finish preparing everything, the pandemic will be over and I'll be starting performing outside, and everything will go into the shelf again. I was worried about that. But of course, it was a very good learning process, and it really went on very well. It was received very well. Again, this show I developed, I called it Between You and Me, because it's not about me across the camera on your screen performing magic. No, it's not about me showing off my skills. No, it's about me connecting with you. So the feel of the show is as if I'm coming across your screen to your living room and performing there right in front of you. So that kind of feel I wanted to give. So I wanted to make my audience comfortable watching it. So bits of everything was involved into it. There was mentalism, there was close-up, there was on stage, there was stand-up magic, there was interactive stuff, everything built in together. So it was a cool blend. I loved that process of it was like learning a totally new art. It was not magic, just magic. It was everything around it. It was fun. It was really nice. I was like really happy. Even I've been doing quite a few shows, but even if I don't do it anymore, I'm happy to. I mean, I'm waiting to go out and do the live shows. But yeah, this process was wonderful.
Yeah, no, lovely, lovely. What happens to the team though in a time like this, and how do you manage that? How do you bring them back again? How does you pick up the stuff and then restart another journey that was stopped for a while?
Yeah, we did have a little bit difficult time when we actually restarted the show. I actually gave one show after a long gap of 1.5 years. That was difficult, but of course, as I told you before, all our team members, everyone is working outside, so they also do not have their livelihood from the show. It's again for the passion they're doing. Even since the beginning, everyone in our team, they were all employed in corporates, and one of our team member was working for the telecoms. He was a senior executive there. So when they're all into big posts and everything, but they come down, they put a leave and come down, and we all go together. So it was not difficult, but every time like we have a show, it's not just now, even before, if we have an inquiry for the show, we say, okay, please hold this thought, I'll get back to you in a few minutes. And then we just give a call to everyone, say, okay, we have a show this day, are you free, are you available, kind of thing. And then when we make sure everyone is available, then I call back the organization, okay, it's good time to go, and we are ready for it. But then it's not just that, it's before the show, we need to see if all the equipments are working properly. As I said earlier, I just need to make sure everything is in the right place. So when this first show after the pandemic happened, I mean the lockdown happened, we took something like 2 weeks time to actually pull everything out, make sure each and every bit and piece is working fine, it's in the right place and everything. And then we said, okay, we are ready to go. So that was tough, but now of course we are ready to go out and give shows. So that's what
a good team does. Yeah,
Yes,
that's what a good team does. It is ready when things are fine, also ready when things aren't, and look after each other, so to speak. All right, Shankar. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time, your wisdom, your presence in general,
thank
and
you
I
so much.
appreciate that a lot. Uh, I will have to unfortunately do something that I said I will not. I'm going to throw you under the bus here and ask you to actually do something for us, please. I can't have a world famous magician on my talk and then let him go without showing us a trick. Show us something that you're working on, if it's
That
okay.
was unexpected. Okay, no, I mean it's fine. I just need to make sure what I do because I just cleared off everything from here. I just reset the whole thing for you. Something was playing around. Okay, I will try to do something with this. Okay, ah, Rubik cube.
All
I was
right.
playing around and planning something, so probably I'll show you this.
Hmm.
Now this cube I found recently. It's interesting because it also has numbers on it. So people who are bored with colors sometimes try to solve with the numbers, and that's interesting. So I usually when I perform, I have my wife next to me who does the shuffling for me because everyone knows she's not a magician, so she's not going to do any hanky panky stuff with that, and I look away. But now you need to trust me because I don't have my wife next to me, so I'm going to shuffle it, and I mean I'm going to mix it, and you can stop me anytime, anywhere,
You got
right?
trust a
I'm going to
magician.
give it a
That's the best decision of my
you
life.
got to do it. You got no other go now. Okay, so I'm going to I'm going to give it a mix, and I'm going to like actually look away from here. I'm not going to look when I'm mixing, and you know that there's no algo or any special stuff going here. I'm just mixing it, and you just tell me whenever you want me to stop. I will stop.
Stop.
Stop here.
Yeah. Stop.
You want me to? Okay, that's good. Okay, right. Okay. Now
Good.
what I'm going to do, and this is the point at which actually I have a quick look at the cube and I blindfold myself. Again, I don't have a blindfold here, so I'm going to look away. I'm going to hold the cube like this. Now people actually solve cubes very quickly, very fast. I mean, I think the record is something like less than 10 seconds. I can't do that today. I'm going to put a target on me. Today's my target would be 15. All right, I'll
Okay.
try. I just keeping my fingers crossed. I've been practicing a lot, but let's see if today the target is 15. Let's see if it works.
All right.
Just going to give me your complete support. All right, I'm not watching. Ready?
Huh?
Okay. It's difficult. I'm actually talking when I'm doing this. Like, okay. All right. Okay. I think I did okay. I think I messed up, but let me try to do it. Right. Think. Whoa. No, this was okay. That. Yeah, I I think I've done it. I think I've done it good. I'm like, yeah, that's
Done how?
I know you're like, you don't think I did a good job here, right? It's all a messed up cube. And what was the time I took?
Some 20 seconds ish.
Okay, I told you 15, right? And
Uh-huh.
when I told you 15, I know you are saying 20, and so because you know it was not 15 seconds. But I
Hmm.
did not tell you that my target was the time. My target wasn't the time. It was just the
Hmm.
number 15.
Oh.
If you would look at the cube, I would hold the right way up. You would look at the cube, and if you add the numbers, you would say 8 plus 1 is 9, 9 and 6 is 15. If you take the next row, it's going to be 7 and 5, 12, 12 plus 3 is 15. If you take the next row, it's 9 plus 2 plus 4 is 15. Okay, it's not just that side. If I would turn it around and show you the next side, probably this side, it's 8 plus 1, 9, 9 plus 6 is 15. That's 7 plus 5, 12 plus 3 is 15, 9 plus 2 plus 4, that is 15. If I would turn another side, if you would see this side, that is again 15. All right. And again, if I would turn it up like this, you would see that side, that would add up to 15. Okay, if you were like, okay, I will hold it like that. Probably that is 15. So that is 15, that is 15. If you would you can actually take time, pause and see that all these sides everywhere it adds up to 15. So I think I've done a good job here, and I've reached my target. And okay, now if you are not satisfied with that, just that, probably this is where people get satisfied. Where I get I saw the whole cube for you, and yeah,
Wait,
I've done
what?
good job here too. It worked.
Wow. Now this, yeah, no. Wow,
Okay, it worked.
that was brilliant. Thank you so much. Thank you, Shankar. Thank you so much for your time. And this was wonderful. The trick is great. Whenever you do have another virtual show, first of all, I would love to come. And in the link somewhere, I would leave some contact details for people who would want to have you perform for them, your team to come along and all of that. If you want to share a little about how to get in touch with you, that would be lovely.
Definitely. I am available online as Gilly Gilly Magic. So if you would get into my website, that's gillygillymagic.com. It's GILIGILIMAGIC. Gilly Gilly Magic. And you can find me as Shankar Junior on all social media platforms. I'm Shankar Junior on Facebook. And of course, you can find Gilly Gilly Magic on YouTube. I don't have much of my performances on YouTube because, as you know, I don't, it's my recorded magic is, awful. Yeah, it's not. I don't watch my recordings at all. So I don't.
I've seen one of you performing when you were what, 6 on an international stage?
13.
Or-
That was 13. Yeah, that was,
Oh,
that
that's
was probably
13, yeah.
the only performance video you'll find me on online.
There's some
That was
some charm to it. That was just so spectacular to watch.
that was my award-winning international award-winning act. That was
Yeah.
the cups and balls I did for my contest in Switzerland,
Uh-huh.
for which I won the special award of the jury.
Yeah, I will leave a link to that also in this. Thank you once again. Thank you so much. And I will see you the next time I see you, either performing on stage or virtually, and look forward to having more fun.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye bye.